You already know alcohol affects your performance in bed. You've felt it. But here's what nobody tells you and what most men get completely wrong about this topic. It's not just about drinking too much. The relationship between alcohol and your erections is more complicated than that. And some of what you've been told is probably making the problem worse. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what alcohol is doing to your erections at every level of drinking: one drink, a few drinks, heavy drinking, and long-term use. And more importantly, you're going to know whether the damage is reversible, because for most men, the answer to that question is not what they expect. Before we talk about alcohol, you need to understand what actually has to happen for an erection to occur, because alcohol disrupts this process at multiple points simultaneously, and once you understand the chain, everything else makes sense. An erection requires 3 systems working in perfect coordination. First, your brain has to send the right signals down your nervous system. Second, your blood vessels have to dilate and allow blood to flood into the erectile tissue of your penis. Third, your hormones, specifically testosterone, have to be at functional levels to drive desire and support the vascular response. Alcohol hits all 3 at the same time. That's why the effect is so pronounced. It's not disrupting one thing, it's disrupting the entire chain. Here's where it gets nuanced, and this is the part most videos skip entirely. 1 to 2 drinks. At this level, alcohol actually reduces performance anxiety, lowers inhibition, and can make it easier for some men to initiate sex. The research confirms this. Moderate alcohol at this level is not causing erectile dysfunction. In fact, it may slightly benefit the psychological side of sexual performance for men whose primary barrier is anxiety. 3 to 5 drinks. This is where the CNS depression starts to override the psychological benefit. Alcohol is a depressant. It slows your nervous system, which slows the brain signals that trigger erection. Blood flow to the penis decreases. Testosterone begins to drop acutely. You can want it, but your body starts losing the ability to execute. 5 or more drinks. Full whiskey dick territory. The nervous system suppression is significant. Enough that erection becomes difficult or impossible regardless of arousal. Your blood vessels are vasodilated systemically, meaning blood is going everywhere except where you need it. Dehydration from alcohol's diuretic effect reduces blood volume. And angiotensin, a hormone that constricts blood vessels and is directly linked to erectile dysfunction, spikes. Now I want you to stay with me through the next section, because we're about to get to the level of drinking that most men watching this are actually concerned about. And more importantly, everything I'm about to tell you is going to directly answer whether what's happening to you right now is permanent or fixable. Short-term effects clear up once you sober up. What I'm about to cover does not. Long-term heavy alcohol use causes erectile dysfunction through 4 distinct mechanisms, and all 4 are more serious than most men realize. First, testosterone suppression. Chronic alcohol use directly damages the Leydig cells in your testes, the same cells we covered in the zinc video that manufacture testosterone. Long-term alcohol use is associated with hypogonadism, clinically low testosterone, which causes persistent low libido, poor erection quality, and reduced sexual function. Second, elevated prolactin. Alcohol dependence raises prolactin levels. High prolactin suppresses testosterone production further and directly impairs sexual function, creating a compounding hormonal problem on top of the testosterone drop. Third, vascular damage. Chronic heavy drinking accelerates atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries. The penile arteries are among the smallest in the body and among the first to show damage. When those arteries narrow, blood flow to the penis drops, and erection quality declines permanently if the damage is severe enough. Fourth, nerve damage. Excessive long-term alcohol use causes alcoholic neuropathy, nerve damage driven by vitamin B deficiency, because alcohol depletes B vitamin absorption. The nerves that carry the erection signal from brain to penis are directly affected. When those nerves are damaged, the signal doesn't arrive correctly and the erection doesn't happen even when everything else is functioning. Here's something most videos on this topic miss entirely, and it connects directly to erection quality at the biochemical level. Alcohol reduces nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes the smooth muscle in your penile arteries and allows blood to flood in for an erection. It's the same mechanism we covered when we talked about zinc, because zinc-dependent enzymes drive nitric oxide synthesis. Alcohol disrupts this pathway through oxidative stress. It generates free radicals that damage the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels, the cells responsible for producing nitric oxide. When those cells are damaged, nitric oxide output drops, blood flow drops, and erection quality drops with it. This is why alcohol-related erectile dysfunction isn't just about being drunk in the moment. Even after you sober up, if chronic drinking has damaged your endothelial cells, your baseline nitric oxide production is lower than it should be and your erection quality suffers even when you're sober. Alright, here's the answer you've been waiting for. Is alcohol-related erectile dysfunction reversible? For short-term alcohol-induced ED, yes, completely. Once alcohol clears your system and you rehydrate, function returns to baseline. This is the whiskey dick scenario: temporary, situational, no lasting damage. For moderate regular drinking that's been impairing your performance, in most cases, yes. Studies show that men who reduce or stop alcohol intake see significant improvement in erectile function within weeks to months. The hormonal suppression, testosterone and prolactin, tends to normalize relatively quickly once alcohol is removed. For long-term heavy drinking with vascular or nerve damage, it depends on the severity and duration. Vascular damage can partially reverse with sustained lifestyle change, but severe atherosclerosis doesn't fully reverse. Nerve damage from alcoholic neuropathy can improve with abstinence and B vitamin restoration, but severe cases may not fully recover. The honest answer is, the sooner you address it, the more reversible it is. The research is clear: most men who reduce intake and address the underlying mechanisms see meaningful improvement. The men who don't see improvement are usually dealing with a secondary issue like cardiovascular disease or diabetes that was there before the alcohol made it visible. Let's bring it together. Alcohol causes erectile dysfunction through 5 mechanisms: CNS suppression of brain to penis signals, reduced blood flow, testosterone suppression, elevated prolactin, and nitric oxide pathway disruption. At low doses the effect is minimal. At high doses the effect is immediate. And with chronic use, the damage compounds across your vascular system, your hormones, and your nerves. The good news: for most men, most of the damage is reversible if you act on it. The videos linked below on zinc and nitric oxide are directly relevant to rebuilding the blood flow mechanisms that alcohol compromises. Start there. If this channel covers what you need, you know what to do. See you in the next one.